right there in the middle of the screen. Jeff Farrington, head ball coach for North Greenville in his 10th season, a record of 49 and 51. We got the chance to go down and say hi to Coach real fast pregame. He is your old school, just old-fashioned, hard-nosed football coach, if I've ever met one.
Talked about guys that busted their tail in the summertime. He had me ready to run through a wall.
Watkins, nice stiff arm, still breaking some tackles, and finally spun down. Looked like Davion Williams, who stepped up to make that final tackle and bring Watkins down. That was about a 10-yard run for a gain of maybe an inch.
So must be the most exciting 1-yard gain of the afternoon. Put him in a spin cycle with 3 spins just to get to the outside, where he was met by a flurry of blue helmets.
So Ramirez will drop back once again in the shotgun. Little sidearm throw. Hits Williams underneath. He's got a first down and more as he scurries out past the 40 and down to the 45-yard line.
Now I got to tell you, Ken, this is a beautiful play call from the offensive coordinator, Donnie Baker. Watch, they use him right there. Number 13, Cole Richardson, that tight end going right up the seam. They use him as a decoy, and they duck him right underneath for a beautiful pitch and catch.
Watkins stop. He gets to the edge and up the sidelines. Gets taken down. Last tackle made by Jamel Johnson, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle.
Right now, they go to that up-tempo offense, and the middle linebackers just didn't look like they were quite set yet for the Buccaneers, as he's able to bust one to the outside. And he didn't go out of bounds. He was looking to lay the boom. But you're right. Jamel Johnson does a great job of containing the corner, but Charleston Southern, this defense, now on the other side of the field, bend, don't break.
First time across the 50 is a little jet sweep to Williams. He's going to stop, and he's ripped down. Strong arm tackle. That was Malik Barnes, the new middle linebacker, stepping in, another one of those Albany State transfers.
You can see here, he's really interesting after that first 2 possessions. The Charleston Southern defensive front kind of having their way. So how do they respond? They start kicking it to the outside. Can these outside linebackers, as you mentioned, Malik Barnes, a transfer from Albany State, can he kind of pioneer and captain this group? Got to react to their response.
Pistol Ramirez, he somehow gets it out of his hands. Now knocked down. First time we're seeing Yavin Smith with the ball as he's coming to spell Watkins and give him a moment.
How about the elusiveness right here? Dylan Ramirez getting away, another arm tackle high. Ramirez almost makes him pay.
So Barnes, another tackle as it brings up 3rd and 7. Smith still in the backfield. Dre Williams down there in the slot on the bottom. Williams has been his go-to guy so far tonight. Here comes the pressure. Ball hits up into the air and it's picked off. Davis with the interception and the first turnover of the year for Charleston Southern.
And this sideline is beside himself. I got to tell you, Dre Williams at the bottom of your screen runs a perfect route. If this ball gets out of the hand, the Crusaders are in business. That Charleston Southern defense, they bring the blitz. Ron Davis, almost like a pinata, just busted right into his hands.
That's a big man. First-year coach, Gabe Gardenia, in his 3rd stint here at Charleston Southern. Spent his previous 5 years at Albany State. A record of 37 and 17, getting a chance to kind of come back home, so to say, and getting the chance to talk to Gabe a little bit, both last year when he was announced as the hiree and then a few times before this season leading up to it. You just kind of get the feeling like, yeah, this is kind of one of those places he knew he was going to end up back at. As Ramirez, nice running throw, finds his man over on this near side, and he's wrapped up by a swarm of Buccaneers. That was picked up just a couple of yards.
It's really interesting, too, with it being his third stint, understanding the culture, not only with this football program, but obviously the university as well. What's really unique about this situation is he's got 37 new guys on this football team, kid, 27 of which are freshmen. Usually it takes a little bit of time to get your own recruiting classes in and build your program. He's getting to do so, start scratch almost immediately.
Watkins with a big run and a leap over the defender. He went jumping over Dominic Pagano, and another big gain for this North Greenville offense as they're back across the 50. And this duo is fun to watch between Ramirez and Watkins.
Well, you can see why he's a preseason Gulf South selection. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and obviously take it out the hands is, you're going to see Ramirez on the keeper pick up about 5 or 6. Watkins' ability is so dangerous. Your linebacker core, you talk about that quarterback spy, keeping an eye on Ramirez. Who's going to guard him out in the flats? It's so difficult for an outside linebacker. The speed of Watkins poses such a threat.
Watkins, he actually started his collegiate career at Furman. As he gets the ball once again, he runs right into the pile. And now it's a shoving match and picks up 1, maybe 2 yards. Yeah, he was a transfer from Furman. He was actually an all-freshman team selection all the way back in 2018. Seems like absolutely forever ago when you think about how it's 2023, but went to North Greenville, and he's put together a couple good seasons. Second team all-conference last year with those 1,000 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. 3rd and 4 as Ramirez has Smith to his right. Buccaneers send 5. Ramirez steps up, pulled down from behind, fighting to try and get to the marker, and I don't think he got there.
And Killian, I got to tell you, this is the exact right read from Dylan Ramirez. You can see that hole wide open. Nobody home. LaRon Davis saves another first down. He sheds that guard, does a great job of getting off the blocker and forcing the 4th and short.
Looking like they're going to go for it on 4th down. And now a timeout. Gabe Gardenia didn't like what he saw. Wanted to talk things over with his defense. 4th and 1, 4:04 left. And I'm going to bring up the last time these two teams played. It's been a while, Jack. 10 years a while, actually. 28-14 was a Charleston Southern win. Christian Reyes, 168 yards on the ground. And, oh, would you look at that? Gabe Gardenia was actually here.
Offensive coordinator. Head coach Jamie Chadwell, heck of a guy to learn from. When you look at Christian Reyes, too, Coach Gardenia kind of mentioned all offseason the importance of having a running back by committee. And on that team, he had 3 really strong ones that all went on to go play professionally. Mike Holloway, Ham, too, as well. It'll be interesting to see with J.D. Moore in the backfield, T.J. Ruff. Will he, as an offensive rushing attack-minded dude, can he implement that right away, or will it take some time?
That's something we'd heard early on. They were saying, look, if you're going to run the ball, we want to be a run-first team. Be ready in that running back room. As it looks like Jeff Farrington still wanting to roll the dice in CSU territory. 4th and 1. Got a couple more big fellas. Ramirez right up to the line, and he's going to push forward. I think he got it. Most difficult play in football to stop the QB sneak.
I was going to say, and doesn't it feel like college football's back? I couldn't help myself. You see that headline judge running up, and you're going right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. Where's he going to spot it? Everyone in the country, college football fans are back.
First down out the 35. Ramirez going to roll out. Facing the pressure, little looping throw, and he just throws it away. A lot of credit. That was Cooper Dawson providing some pressure, and of course, big number 92, Davis. He seems like he's been involved in just about every single play. He is bullying that offensive line right now.
Well, we were curious in a youthful group with a lot of turnover. They lost a lot of studs, senior, veteran, experienced players. Who's going to step up on this defense? And it's been LaRon Davis so far in the first.
3 down linemen for CSU. Like they want to bring some pressure, and they will. Ramirez with the play action. Throw on the run. Nice little catch on the near sideline. Looked like 2 feet down inbounds for Quentin Sanders.
How comfortable does Dylan Ramirez look outside the pocket right now? It almost feels like in the pocket he's almost a little antsy to find a way to get out and hit a guy in the flats. Off a 1 foot, almost a middle infield baseball type throw to move the sticks. Ramirez, just a freshman last year, still an underclassman. He sure doesn't look like it.
You think trying to get him out is by design with how much pressure's been coming? As he's going to delay, hand off to Watkins, who waits, and he's going to be wrapped up and ripped down by a couple Buccaneers. Looked like Amari Jenkins, the true freshman, was the first one there.
And to answer your question, Kelly, I think absolutely, especially from a rushing standpoint as well. These nose tackles right now from CSU between obviously LaRon Davis, and we've seen a little Cooper Dawson as well. The middle of the field has been an area of weakness. They've exploited it. So from an aerial attack, yeah, get your guy outside. Start feeding receivers in open space. But from a rushing standpoint, too, we see that jet sweep. They'll pitch to the outside. Now it'll be the outside. How do those corners and that secondary, that strong safety, how do they fill the gaps?
Cale Swift into the game for the first time. As Williams comes, he's going to get the ball. Williams runs right into Trayson Fowler, the safety who stepped up to make the play.
Question answered. They go to the jet sweep. Trayson Fowler from that strong safety spot. He'll play in the nickel. He'll play a hybrid spot as well. He slides in, contains the edge, hat on ball, great tackle, force the 3rd down.
3rd and 7. As Ramirez peering over to the side. So far 0 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. With 2 running backs. Williams along in motion to the near side now. And now timeout called as offensive coordinator Donnie Baker was jumping up and down on that far sideline.
I think he saw something on the far side of the field. I think they went to go check down an audible. They really liked the matchup on the outside. We've seen a lot of Dre Williams. They had him in one-on-one coverage. I think they wanted to check down. Maybe they were looking for a run play or something up the middle of the field. When they come back out, I wouldn't be surprised if Charleston Southern defensively hides a safety on that far side of the field. That way Dre Williams isn't all by himself.
1:19 left in this first quarter of football in game number 1. And McClatchy, Jack DeLongshaw, crowd filling out nicely here at Buccaneer Field. Good crowd made their way down as well from Greenville on that far side. So 3rd and 7. Williams at the bottom of the screen. Ramirez gonna hand off, double reverse. Williams drops the ball and he has to fall on top of it. Jack, that play was dangerous from the start. There was a lot of room on the far side of the field.
And you can see Dre Williams grabbing his helmet. It was dangerous, and it was gonna work. He had him wide open, that far side of the field. With a playmaker of the ability of Williams, he had a whole lot of room to run. All he had to do was beat Edward Owusu to the corner, and it looked like he had the angle. A little bit of a missnap on the pitch back, and the Buccaneers are counting their blessings.
There's Colin Carhu on for his first field goal attempt of the season, trying to get some points on the board. The kick is up, and it is good. Carhu, strong kick, and North Greenville has the lead for the first time in this game.
I think it was good from like 50, man. It was an absolute boot. You can see North Greenville able to strike first. And how important, too, from a confidence standpoint as well. Trying to pull off something that you haven't done in close to 2 decades. I think from the morale standpoint from that sideline, be like, hey, look, we're a quarter in. Not too big. They're not too fast. We can hang.
From Soriano Needed to be helped off the field. Hopefully he is all right as Watkins gets the ball tripped up, still on his feet, and now he gets leveled by a couple Buccaneers. It's already a little bit of that depth for Charleston Southern. Potentially being tested. So, as you brought up the first quarter for Gabe Gardenia's side, I asked the same question after this play for Dylan Ramirez and this North Greenville team as Watkins goes outside. Quick little slant and a nice catch, quick tackle. That's the big tight end, A.J. Tolbert, making his first catch of the year. First quarter thoughts so far North Greenville.
Hey, North Greenville looks like they're playing with house money right now, Kelly. Nothing to lose. They're the D2 school they're expected to lose. They haven't won in 20 years against this opponent. They're playing like it, right? It's a young quarterback, Dylan Ramirez, who had a really successful freshman campaign, and it looks like he's just building off of it. With that being said, I've been really impressed with a lot of new faces on this Charleston Southern defense. They've given Ramirez a lot to think about.
Looks like they might be bringing pressure on this 3rd down and 7. And they do. Ramirez gonna heave one deep, looking for Williams, and just out of his reach. Got kind of tangled up.
Hey man, the Will Levis train of coffee and or mayonnaise in the coffee, excuse me, it's trending. It's going places. If it works for early 2nd round Kentucky quarterback Will Levis, it can work for a guy like Lance Calcutt.
I don't know if Lance is as much a mayo in the coffee guy. That might be a question to ask later on. Maybe we can get Justin Beagle on that one. Be 2nd down and about 8 after that run from Watkins. And as you can see, the shadows starting to stretch across Buccaneer Field as 2nd timeout taken by North Greenville. So they're on to the Charleston. I think Seth's actually busy night. Indiana State with their season opener as Ramirez throws it, little screen pass underneath. Nice catch made by Smith, and he gets crushed down at about the 39. Sherry Jefferson coming to make the play.
You go take a look at the North Greenville roster. Yevon Smith, actually a wide receiver, so when he lines up in the backfield, expect for him to utilize his hands as a weapon.
They got some dangerous guys, kind of hybrids. You got Watkins, who he can do a little bit of both. You got Smith listed as a wide receiver, seeing him running the ball. Also got Dre Williams, who he's a really good dual threat back. We've already seen him both running and receiving the ball. It's 3rd down and 5. Williams in the slot there at the top, right at the 40. Ramirez, lots of pressure coming towards him. Finds Williams back behind the defense, and he's taking it to the house. Touchdown, North Greenville.
The pitch, the catch. What's more impressive, though? What's a really good quarterback do in those situations? They blitz the house. They blitz the safety high, as you see. Number 2 come flying in late, but he throws right at the blitz. High IQ play from Dylan Ramirez. And the Crusaders extend it to 2 scores.
Now setting up, little funky way to start as they try and decide whether or not they want to go for 2. As they're going to bring everybody back together. 5 seconds. And just get it away. The PAT is up and good. 10-0. North Greenville on top, and Dre Williams. Turn on the Jets. Get behind the defense. First touchdown of the year belongs to Dre.
Those new tiles are fun.
Shining. Technically still for a little bit. Lights are on, though. We got college football back. It's a 10-0 lead for the Division II North Greenville Crusaders as Dylan Ramirez, little quarterback keeper on the read option, picks up 4, maybe 5 yards. Killian McClatchy, Jack DeLongshaw, and Justin Beagle can run around down in the field for us. It's going a little bit of tempo. We've seen from North Greenville, handoff up the middle. Big hole and fighting forward for the first down. It's going to be Watkins. You look at the numbers. North Greenville really controlling the tempo of this game, outgaining Charleston Southern by nearly 130 yards now.
And a lot of that to do with Corey Watkins. Eddie Watkins' explosive speed, but 180 pounds. It's been the yards after contact for Watkins, especially once he's able to bounce it to the outside. That last carry was the most productive play through the middle of the field. They can exploit that inside, which they haven't been able to do quite yet due to a very stout nose tackle effort from LaRon Davis and Cooper Dawson. They're able to get that. This offense all of a sudden firing on all cylinders.
Very good catch from Quentin Sanders on the slant. As it's 2nd and short. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Bring the tight end in tight. And give it off to Watkins. Puts his shoulder down, and he is met and pulled backwards. Nice play. That was Jefferson stepping in and laying the lumber.
You know, this Jefferson, who they brought in on that outside linebacker blitz, they stunted him, right? So he waits a second, hits the gap, and Ramirez would just be right at the blitz on that touchdown throw. Jefferson doing a great job of getting to that gap just a hair quicker.
Ramirez sneaks it around the outside and picks up the first down. Sneaky from Dylan Ramirez.
Dude, what a ball player. We talk about it. It's the hardest play to defend. You know they're going to do it. It's just best on best. Who's going to win in the trenches? Dylan Ramirez says, hey, not so fast. Let's bounce it to the outside.
And you saw that was Malik Barnes who kind of crashed in on the line, and Ramirez saw him and said, I'll just go right around you, sir.
You want me to give you my best, Chris Berman?
Whoop. There we go. Another first down for North Greenville. Offense is humming. Ramirez rolling out to his right. Looks like he's going to scramble, and he's going to pick up maybe a yard.
Yeah, Killian, that was one of those designs. Roll him out, get him out of the pocket, get him to that far side of the field where he's so comfortable throwing to his right. This time, Charleston Southern doing a great job. You see North Greenville moving the pocket that way. The dual threat quarterback, he's showing it off with the arm. In that second quarter now, you're starting to see the feet pay dividends.
Threw for over 2,500 yards last season, ran for over 400. Those yards gained, of course, in the college level. Sacks count against rushing yards. Underneath, big hit as Barnes stepped up, knocked down Williams immediately, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
You know, this is a guy that's got some pretty lofty shoes to fill here at Charleston Southern. Garrett Saig, a guy that really anchored the Killian too. Remember, the idea behind second half adjustments, they got a lot of pressure. We're just their front four. Look for them to back up those linebackers and help out in the passing game.
Coming out, throwing a right away and in and out of the hands. Trying to make a play on that one was Jefferson, but it's incomplete, and they'll bring up 2nd and 10, and for the second time, there's Justin. Looking a little cooler down there, Justin.
Yes, and I wore my sunscreen this year, guys. I learned that mistake from 2022. Caught up with both head coaches coming out of the halftime locker room for Coach Gardini. He said 2 words, stay loose. That was it, and he kept on running. As for Coach Farrington over there for North Greenville, he said they have to be more productive on 1st and 2nd down. They cannot go backwards. Limit the turnovers, and he said keep an eye out for some explosive plays here from their offense in the second half.
Thanks, Justin. Glad you remember the sunscreen. Ramirez on the roll, heaves one up into the air. That one's through the hands. Davion Williams, he camped underneath it like a center fielder, and it went right through the breadbasket.
Well, when you only have 3 incompletions, you forget sometimes that book of quarterback don'ts. Don't throw back towards the middle of the field. He gets away with a pick. That might have been the easiest interception opportunity of the season. Davion Williams kicking himself. The Bucks keeping the 3rd and long.
3rd and 10. A lot of wide receivers, a lot of DBs. Ramirez has Williams in the slot. And now the flag comes out. Looks like it's going to be a delay of game.
And all of a sudden, they're showing a lot of different looks. They show 6, they back 2 running backs up. They stump that outside linebacker and that nose tackle you saw on the outside. That was Josh Hill coming in high. You see Malik Barnes showing blitz as well. Watch how many of these guys they drop back into coverage. Show a lot of different looks here in the second half.
Showing 6 coming right now, like you said, and they're going to bring 6. Ramirez, sidearm throw, finds his man underneath, but ripped down immediately. He got the ball to Smith. That was Trayson Fowler stepping up to make the play and bring up 4th down.
Fowler's played a spectacular football game. That's the 3rd time that we've seen.
South football, Jersey Mike's a sub above. I should leisurely stroll along the battery. A lot clearer than it was just 24 hours ago. Hurricane Idalia making its way through. It's cleared up. We got a beautiful night for some football, and Ramirez finds his running back underneath for a couple of yards. That's Cale Swift, the junior from Carnesville, Georgia. Didn't get a chance to play last season. He did run for 300+ yards back in 2021. Ramirez going more up-tempo, handoff to Swift, waiting for something to develop, and he's tripped up, picked up maybe a yard.
That's going to be one of those plays that doesn't pop up in the box score, but the push, the initial push from the local native Cooper Dawson on that left side. He blows that play up immediately. Cale Swift had nowhere to go.
3rd down and 5. 3rd downs have been tough on both teams. Just 2 for 9 tonight so far for North Greenville. Clock running down. Ramirez just gets the snap off. Stands tall in the pocket, thrown into a host of blue jerseys. It was knocked down. I don't know if it got a piece of somebody. But either way, it found its way to the turf.
Again, I think it's another situation where North Greenville, a little miscommunication on the route running. They got 2 guys running slants right in the middle of the field. There's a plethora.
As it looks like we're trying to get stretched out. That's Curtis Ryans. It's like hopefully just cramping up in that right leg as he's going to try and make his way off the field on his own power, which is good to see.
Who's holding court in that defensive huddle? But Donald, of course, the redshirt junior. That entire away sideline erupting after the first turnover forced. All of a sudden, it felt like the Buccaneers gaining a little bit of momentum, and the Crusaders snatch it right back.
Ramirez taking a little bit of time, scrambles out of the pocket and slides down, picking up a couple yards.
Wise play to make sure to slide and pick up the necessary 4 to 5 yards and live to see the next play, because Sherry Jefferson was coming across the field looking to do some damage.
So Finley picks up 2 on that play. I've been really impressed with the poise of Dylan Ramirez. Even in the moments when the pockets collapsed around him, he's been in those tight situations. He's handled it really well. Here's this snap, gonna hand off to Watkins, and he gets spun down and around, still fighting, and picks up a couple.
A really nice tackle from Cooper Dawson, that backside pursuit. What a good running backs do. They just fall forward. Might seem trivial, but in an offense where you just kind of chip away, 3 to 4 yards a gain. Watkins being able to fall forward, making it a little bit more of a manageable 3rd down set.
3rd down and 6. Under 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. North Greenville, a 7-point lead. Ramirez gets it out of his hands quickly, finds his man on the outside, cut down right near the marker, and it looks like it's going to be a 1st down. Finds Cole Richardson as tight end for his first catch of the year.
And again, a great play call. They use number 9, Cameron Walker. Walker, he's the decoy. He flies upfield, and you can see that's just a freshman, Leon Thomas. He evacuates with him, never sees the tight end.
Ramirez puts the ball on the turf, but is able to fall on top of it as he and Smith got a little tied up in the backfield.
Those are week one mistakes, right? Now, how many times have we seen a little bit of a missed handoff between quarterback and running back tonight, especially in a whole lot of quarterback read situations? And both of these teams, obviously offensively, love to go to the option set, but they're flirting with danger.
Already seen it. That's how North Greenville got the ball on this drive. Was botched handoff between Bartolo and his running back. Play action from Ramirez. Running over the middle, in and out of the hands. He had his man Walker over the middle. He just couldn't reel it in.
We're going to say Davion Williams comes flying in from the backside and gets a hand on that. But I think that's going to be a play where Cameron Walker wishes he would have come down with it. You see Ramirez, if he leads him a little bit better, you can see him throw just a little behind. That's the difference between the first down and third and long.
Now there's a lot of traffic going through that area with Walker as it brings up another third down and long. See if Charleston Southern can dial up the pressure and get somebody in the backfield. Ramirez, here comes the pressure. And he's escaping and finally tripped up and brought down. Owusu was there, Bell was there, Davis was back there. A whole host of Buccaneers, and it's another sack, and it brings up fourth down.
Darius Bell, strength conditioning coach Brandon Gilbs
pushing the buttons back in the truck. Makes it seem like he doesn't really do all that much. I promise Nick Case does a lot to keep us going here. He keeps us straight. It's a tough task, I know. 10-6 ball game after the second field goal from Sam Babish. As it's booted deep and another fair catch. Ball knocked down to the ground and picked it up is going to be Smith. Smith still running for his life, and now a whistle, late whistle. As Smith is frustrated now, everybody's confused as to what's going on. Smith very much looked like he could have taken that one to the house.
Here's the question, ladies and gentlemen at home. He did call for a fair catch. Now, just because the kick is muffed, you see it was a late wave of the hand. The muff the pooch. They're going to call him down where he picks this football up.
There's a really late whistle on that, too.
I think because of the late fair catch call, right? Like, so obviously, and two, you always see it, right? The old fumble risky, the muff the punt, the defense breaks down. If he doesn't fair catch there, he's got Babish to beat, and he's looking at a 95-yard tutty.
Well, now it's going to be having to go the length of the field for Dylan Ramirez with a 4-point lead. He's going to hand it off to his running back, who is twisted down after a couple yards.
Swift on the carry.
And that's Swift. Interesting, we haven't seen necessarily as much of Corey Watkins here in the second half. Seen a lot more Swift and Yavin Smith. As it's second down and 6. Expect to see a lot of this. Run the ball, take your time.
Tick, 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 tick. And that was kind of what we talked about in our Jack's Tater Tots of the half. You don't want to necessarily play with that lead. You don't want to play with that caution. There's a reason you got out in front. Leave the ball in the hands of Dylan Ramirez.
Going over the middle, right through the hands of Williams, who was leveled immediately. Champ Brantley was right there waiting for him.
That's one of the throws where Dre Williams putting his head down, just trying to come up for grabs. Knowing a big hit is coming. Just outside the reach from Ramirez. Got to get that throw down. You know what? I misspoke. It's going to be caught. I think from upstairs it looks like it's a little high. Williams got to go get it. That's going to be one that the talented Dre Williams wishes he came down with.
Third down and 6 from their own 10-yard line. Ramirez going to roll out to the right, hits his man underneath. First down, that's Cameron Walker moving the chains.
When in doubt, it's been his bread and butter. When has Dylan Ramirez looked most comfortable tonight? It ain't been in the pocket. Let's roll him out to the right, get it to the outside. A great out route. Perfect route precision from Cameron Walker. They moved those chains, and as you mentioned, Killian, drained a little bit more of that clock.
Granted, there's still 12 minutes left in this game, but you kind of, every single second, every minute, the longer you can take, the more comfortable you start to feel about where you are in this game. And all the way down to 2 seconds. Ramirez pulls the ball, spins out of a tackle, and somehow can end up actually picking something up on that play.
I say, he fooled me upstairs as long with 3 outside linebackers from Charleston Southern did D-end, and number 13, as you see there on the corner, kind of escaping with him. Ramirez able to just pick up a yard. But what you're going to see here, too, you talk about, I don't think they feel comfortable. They know this is 20 years too long to beat the in-state foe. Watch them go back to Ramirez. It's going to be a lot of quarterback reads. They trust the ball in the sophomore's hands.
Bring Williams in motion. Watkins, they're going to pitch it out to him. First time we've seen him in a little bit, and he gets tripped up after a couple of yards. Llewellyn was the first man there.
Watkins on the carry.
That ball in that right hash mark, we know on 3rd down. Ramirez loves rolling out to the right with that short side of the field. It'd be interesting to see if they just say, hey, let's get the ball to Corey Watkins in open space.
Under 10.5 minutes. In 20 years since the last time North Greenville with a win over the middle, caught, bouncing around, first down, and a little bit more.
Ramirez pass is complete to number 3.
Quentin Sanders on that quick little slant route for another first.
How poised in the pocket he is. Look, blitz 8. They bring the house. What does he do? Throws right at the blitz. Very similar pass as that touchdown we saw in the first half. He knows the hit's coming. He delivers where the blitz is going. Pick up a first down. He's technical right now. And again, too, he's running that play clock down to just 3 to 2 seconds every time. He's showing veteran poise just a sophomore year.
A delayed handoff. Watkins tripped up in the backfield right away.
Watkins on the carry.
This play made by Julius Walton, freshman from Carrollton, Georgia.
By Wilson.
As
2nd down and 11.
Justin Beagle down with a little bit of something for us. Justin?
Well, guys, you know I'm a man of the people, and I'm down here where it's a little bit hotter than your nice air-conditioned booth up there in the rafters. But as we know, it is late August, and these guys are still getting back into football shape, and the cramps are going to start coming. So this is your ode to all of our trainers here at Charleston Southern and across the country, keeping these guys hydrated and ready to rock and roll. As for Charleston Southern, looks like J.D. Moore, the running back, getting a little bit of work done on his calf, cramping up here in the middle part of the 4th quarter. Just something to keep an eye on.
Hanging in there, I know, doing a tough job down there, Justin.
He's a man of the people. He said, who needs sunscreen tonight? Justin Beagle taking care of us.
No moonburn.
I was going to say, no moonburn. But you will take an eye on. I love the point, though. Keep an eye on J.D. Moore. He's going to be crucial to get that back on offense. It's time to try to go win the game for that Buccaneer offense.
It's going to be 3rd and 11 and a timeout called by Charleston Southern. Interesting timeout call with the play clock winding down. North Greenville in the 4th quarter up by 4 points over Charleston Southern. As Ramirez going to play action. Got a man right in front of him, throwing it up into the air and over everybody. It's an incomplete pass, and it will. Last season, had 815 yards on the ground, 6 TDs. Back in 2021, excuse me, didn't get a chance to play last year. a game penalty kind of out of nowhere. Right there to move him back 5 more yards.
Just the legend of young sophomore Dylan Ramirez grow right in front of our eyes. Let's see how he handles a 3-point deficit, the first of the night.
And hand off to Watkins, who bounces outside, spinning out of a couple tackles, and finally wrapped up. Rusu and Barnes were there. Barnes has lost the lid. He's going to have to come off for a play. I think it was Barnes who had him wrapped up by the ankle. He was holding on for dear life.
How impressive has he been tonight? You know, we talked about the flurry of new guys, 37 new players on this Buccaneer lineup, 27 freshmen. 5 transfers from Albany State that came with Coach Gardenia, 4 of which are starting. Blake Barnes really imprinting on this Blue Swarm defense.
Watkins motions out, getting it out quick to the tight end, and being met by 4 Buccaneers. That was Richardson who pulled in his second catch of the night and moved the chains.
And you can see he takes a huge hit at the end of the play, but watch him. He just sits down right in the soft part of the coverage. No need to keep running that fly route up the middle of the seam. He just sits down right in it. Ramirez puts it right on that 13 number. Nice play by Cole Richardson.
Under 6 minutes to play from Buccaneer Field. There's Williams. Be a play action. Ramirez trying to reverse himself, and he gets met. Ed Owusu right there.
Owusu first to the attack. Looks like LaRon Davis in there, Julius Walton as well. They really haven't needed to blitz a ton tonight. When they do, Ramirez burns them forward. So in these long, second and long, third and long, I'd be curious if they continue to bring that pressure. Ramirez has been ready to handle it because that front 3 for the Bucs has been deadly.
Going back to 5 wide, right through the hands of Richardson. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
And I think you heard him. You can see Malik Barnes in the ear of Cole Richardson saying, hey, you heard the footsteps, big fella. He was ready to lay the boom. That went right through the wickets of Richardson. And now, arguably the biggest 3rd down of the night.
Crowd's starting to make a little more noise for this CSU defense. Five of 15 tonight on 3rd down for North Greenville. Ramirez drops back, feeling the pressure, scrambles out. He's going to run it himself, and he's pushed out of bounds. Great contained by this CSU defense, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
They do have to get the ball back and are looking to push against the clock.
Tense moments. North Greenville. They started off, got themselves out to a 10-0 lead. Big touchdown pass from Dylan Ramirez to Dre Williams. Midway point of the 2nd quarter. Trying to come away with their first Division I win since 2013. Their first win against Charleston Southern in 20 years. It's going to take 58 yards to do it. A little bit of a low snap for Ramirez. He gets wrapped up and ripped down to the ground. Darius Bell, the redshirt junior, with the sack.
They told us he's been working his tail off in the offseason for moments like this, but don't get it mistaken. Look at LaRon Davis taking on the double team, blowing it up through the middle of the field. LaRon Davis. Charleston Southern's able to squeak away with a win. It's Davis that's anchored him on the defensive side of the ball.
Walker comes in motion. They're going to hand off. Double reverse. Williams looking for somewhere to go with it. Charleston Southern sniffed that one out. That was Perry who made the play.
Killian, it was the same double reverse that we saw in the first half. They bobbled that snap. And again, in the first half, Dre Williams, he handles it cleanly. It's a touchdown. Fool me once, can't fool me twice. That Charleston Southern defense, they snuffed it out. And now they're looking at 3rd and a mile.
Got to get something here. He's going to go underneath and right off the hands. Matthew Huff, he had some yards and he just dropped it.
He was going to pick up 10 to 15, just an opportunity to kind of cut into that 4th and 27 deficit. He had his head up just a wee bit too early. He's the sophomore quarterback, Dylan Ramirez. To have a little bit more magic here late in the 4th, he's going to need it.
Taking a long time to try and get this thing set up. Clock's down below 5. I don't think they're going to reset it either, and now they're going to have to use this last timeout. In the grand scheme of things, Jack, it's 4th and 27. You got to get this play right.
I was going to say, too, and with the timeout waiting as well after burning the 2 to just get the ball back, I was surprised they didn't just call it right away. Right after the drop, obviously, Coach Farrington, who's been there for an entire decade, has played great football. Call timeout, reset, drop the pass, no worries. Let's have some fun. You're going to find something that it's either going to be in a Hail Mary play, a little jump ball at midfield, which I know sounds pretty hilarious. It kind of will be. But knowing that this is the game, maybe something in the middle of the field, a little hook and ladder. You got to get
a little
creative.
trickeration.
Come on. If you've got something drawn up, hidden up your sleeve, no better time to pull it out than now.
So it's 4th and 27. Charleston Southern trying to win the opener in the Gabe Gardenia era. And a little bit of a testy game at moments, one that they trailed for most of the night. One play away from walking out of this one 1-0 to start this season. Lots of bodies back, about the 40-yard line. Got 7 players standing back, 4 on the line. 5 wide, here's the game. Ramirez over the middle, caught, there's the hook and ladder, got some space, running first down. My goodness, Jack, it paid off.
All right. In my young career, as they're going to spot this short.
They're spotting him a yard short.
Oh, hold your horses.
Charleston Southern is celebrating. Did he step out of bounds?
Oh, man, he takes off, rolls over the back of the secondary. Officials trying to maintain mayhem on both sides of the field. What an unbelievable play. We called the shot upstairs. Had to go in deep into the bag to find it. We'll take another look. You be the judge at home. Corey Watkins, burst of speed to the outside. Where's the step out?
I don't know about that. So they're showing a replay on the video board here. North Greenville just erupted that entire sideline. You have to go and review this.
Replay capabilities. You actually see offensive line coach Jackson Williams, who played his college ball here at Charleston Southern, doing a great job of trying to calm heads, because if they do go take a look at it, they need to calm that temperature down, because it looks like they are going to go take a look at it. And Killian, if they see the look that we just saw,
this is a first down.
That offense is trotting back out on the field.
That is a first down. They had to go look at this play. At this point in the game, with less than 90 seconds on a play like that with a yard separating. They said, so they marked him down at the 48-yard line. Our awesome crew down in the truck tonight and our camera team, watch. He doesn't step out of bounds anywhere, and then he gets tumbled over. That's all the way almost down to the 45 of CSU.
I'm not sure if the far line officials saw something that we didn't see on that parallel look. But upstairs, man, I think if they get the view we just saw, he didn't step out. I mean, it's a really clean play, a beautiful play call.
That's one giving shades of Boise State against Oklahoma. Not something you ever think is going to work out and pay off. And lo and behold, he had lots of space, took it to the sideline as they're taking a peek at it right now. What an ending to this ball game.
You say you don't think it's going to work, but Killian, we said it before the 4th and 27. You knew they had to go find something. It was going to be a jump ball. They don't necessarily have the height on the outside. So what I said, if you go to a hook and ladder in the middle of the field, it can be almost like a read option play. You got the entire secondary moving in one direction.
So I think this is your, of course, that you got the goalpost there.
To me,
this is so tough.
The only way you see it is if that heel is adjacent to the sideline. And to me, it didn't look like it was. You could see separation between the heel of Corey Watkins and that out-of-bounds marker.
This crew taking their time, making sure to get this taken care of. Zach Erdman, the head referee down there, our replay official, Kirk Walter, as we got Justin down on the sideline. Justin, what do you got?
Guys, they are standing right in front of me, and they have not uttered a word in the last 2 minutes. They are taking a very, very close look at that play. It happened on the far sideline from where I'm standing right now, so I couldn't get a good look. And I agree with Jack. I'm not sure what that official on the far side saw. I think he probably broke the 40. We'll get the official word here in a second.
We're starting to see some celebration out of that North Greenville side. It looks like the defense is starting to walk back out for CSU. There's a lot of movement. No movement over by our officials at the replay side, but everybody else is walking around.
How well the Crusaders travel. Do they know something that we don't? As our head official hasn't uttered a word, hasn't made a move, but for some reason the defense lined up on the field looking ready to go to battle. Dylan Ramirez looking to trot back out.
All right, the headset is off. So the play pays off. For those of you who didn't hear the play, the call on the field was reversed down at the 46-yard line, resetting the clock, 1:08. Jack, my goodness, the moon is full. We said there was something crazy coming tonight, and goodness gracious.
Kudos to the old Fiesta Bowl. Boise State, they go hook and ladder. It would only make sense they go Statue of Liberty now, right? They're pulling the playbook right out from Doug Peterson's feet. The Broncos and the Crusaders, imitation the finest form of flattery.
So Ramirez with the ball, gets it out of his hands quick, finds his man, ball is bobbled. They say he brought it in. That was Williams on the sideline and stops the clock.
Complete to number 2, Dre Williams.
And again, I believe
Bounds at the 39-yard line.
mistaken was that last timeout that they were charged before that 4th and 27.
Yep.
So everything that Dylan Ramirez and this offense are going to run be towards the sideline.
It'll be 2nd and 3. Only ran 4 seconds off the clock. We've seen a lot of those quick passes trying to get the ball out of Ramirez's hands really fast tonight. They've done a good job with it. Ramirez going to fake the pitch. Up the middle, Ramirez, first down.
Ramirez keeps.
Dylan Ramirez hasn't run much in this second half himself, but keeps the ball and moves the sticks.
And what's important to note for college football fans, this is the first year where after a first down, the clock does not stop. This new implementation, you can see that clock just keeps ticking. So they're going to want to get back on this ball and go no huddle for the rest of the way out.
And you're forgetting about the fact they're only down by 3. They only need a field goal. Ramirez bounces around, finds his man underneath. That was Watkins, who was able to get the hands underneath it and make the catch. 25 seconds left, and we got a whistle.
He's tackled by Malik Barnes.
So it looks like a timeout, and it looks as though it's actually a timeout from North Greenville. So that timeout on 4th down, that was from CSU.
So they're explaining, you can actually see North Greenville coaches in the middle of the field screaming and yelling at Charleston Southern coaches. I think their misunderstanding is similar to mine. Shocked that Charleston Southern called that defensive timeout to allow them to reset before that 4th and 27. To remind you, all 3 CSU timeouts in the second half, all on the defensive side of the ball.
A reminder, they're down by 3. Colin Carhu, the sophomore from Rock Hill, he already made 1 field goal tonight. It was the first score of the game. He made it from 46. It was a new career long for Carhu. Certainly within that range now.
And I was going to say, if you remember the kick, good from 56. We actually saw
plenty
before
of
the
leg.
game from the 35, easily hitting 52-yarders, but they already got it at the 25. You're looking at a 42-yarder. Essential that Dylan Ramirez doesn't take a sack.
So now the real question for you, do you continue to run this offense as though you're trying to get into the end zone, or do you play something a little bit safer, maybe run the ball here, pick up a few yards, put it where Carhu wants?
I keep gunning for the end zone. You got to be really safe with the football, but trust the ball in Ramirez's hand.
Back shoulder pass, what a play! Quentin Sanders reels it in inside the 10.
How about the timing? Trust the ball in Dylan Ramirez's hand. The young sophomore. Standout in his freshman year campaign. And this time, by the time that Sanders turns, Ramirez has already put it all over the numbers.
North Greenville led this game for pretty much the entire night. Lost it here in the 4th. They trail by 3. They could go for a field goal to tie it, but it looks like they want the win. Ramirez keeps it up the middle. Tripped up down to the 5.
No timeouts left. He's going to go for the spike. Do they go for a quick play?
False start. The left side of the line jumped. No timeouts. That penalty. How much time is going to be left?
At just 8 seconds.
And that's the ball game. The false start with 8 seconds causes a 10-second runoff, and Charleston Southern survives.
Heartbroken, stunned, shattered. The disbelief of the Crusaders, the realization with the 10-second runoff. If we can get a shot, head coach Gabe Gardenia in his Charleston Southern debut, giving a huge hug to former Charleston Southern Buccaneer and offensive lineman Jackson Williamson, knowing they narrowly escaped devastation, but the false start, the missed timing, and the spiked ball. There are no words.
Well, it's time for the Hercules Tires strong move of the game. And it's the big time run from J.D. Moore to set up the touchdown.